Sell your car. Your brother needs the money. The command sliced through the air like a whip. My mother's voice was cold, decisive, leaving no room for argument. She didn't ask. She demanded. Before we begin, drop a comment and tell us where are you from and from which city you're watching our videos. And after watching the whole video, don't forget to tell us, what would you do in this situation? Be honest. Tell me in the comments below. We read every comment. Let's begin. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at her, my fingers wrapped tightly around my car keys. That car wasn't just metal and wheels. It was my independence, my job. My ability to breathe without asking for anyone's help, Ren. My brother lounged in the chair beside her, smirking like a spoiled prince. He drummed his fingers against the table, smug and expectant. Come on, sis. You know I need it more than you do. Be reasonable. The air pressed heavy against my chest. Years of being overlooked, dismissed, treated like an afterthought weighed on me. And like so many times before, I didn't fight. I slid the keys across the table. The metallic clink sounded final, like a gavel slamming down in court. Ryan grinned. Knew you'd do the right thing. Margaret leaned back, smiling with satisfaction, like a queen rewarding her favorite child. See, that's what family is for, sacrifices, I wanted to scream. Instead, I stood up, numb, my throat burning. Daniel, my husband, watched from the doorway, his jaw set like stone. He didn't speak, not here, not in front of them. But his eyes burned with quiet fury. Later that night, the silence in our apartment felt suffocating. Daniel finally spoke, his voice low, sharp with restrained anger. You just handed them your car. Without a word. Why, Lily? I sat on the couch, shoulders heavy. Because that's how it's always been. Mom asks, Ryan takes, and I give. If I say no, I'm selfish. If I argue, I'm ungrateful. I can't win! Daniel moved closer, gripping my hand firmly. This isn't family, Lily, this is control. And I won't watch them crush you anymore. Tears stung my eyes. What choice do I have? His jaw tightened. Maybe it's time they find out you're not as powerless as they think. 1 week later, I thought the worst was behind me, until Ryan pulled into my parents' driveway in a brand new red sports car, the engine roaring like thunder, sunlight glinting off the polished chrome. He stepped out wearing designer sunglasses, tossing the keys into the air as if he owned the whole world. Margaret clapped her hands together, pride shining in her eyes. My boy, you deserve this. After everything, you finally got what you're owed. I stood frozen on the steps, my stomach twisting, rage bubbling under my ribs. My old sedan, gone, sold. My sacrifice discarded. And here was Ryan, flaunting luxury as if he hadn't drained me dry. Daniel moved closer, his hand brushing mine. But he wasn't staring at the car. He was holding a folder, thick, heavy, filled with papers. His voice was low, steady, dangerous. He's not the one who should be smiling right now, Daniel whispered. Because these papers change everything. For the first time in years, I felt something spark inside me. Not resignation. Ryan leaned against his shiny sports car, tapping the hood like it was his throne. Neighbors slowed down on the sidewalk, staring with envy. He soaked it up, chest puffed out, flashing that cocky smile I'd seen my whole life. Margaret beamed beside him, her arm looped proudly through his. Meanwhile, I stood on the steps, feeling my blood boil. The sight of them laughing together, celebrating his success, twisted my stomach until it hurt. I could still feel the echo of the moment I slid my keys across the kitchen table. My sacrifice. My humiliation. Daniel stepped forward, his hand steady on the folder. His eyes, sharp as glass, locked on Ryan. Nice car, he said coolly. Tell me, Ryan, how'd you manage it? Weren't you the one begging Lily for help just last week? Ryan scoffed, lifting his sunglasses to rest them on his head. It's called hustling, Daniel. Something you wouldn't understand. Some of us know how to play the game. Margaret shot Daniel a glare. Don't start. Ryan has always been resourceful. He deserves good things. Then her eyes flicked to me, cold as ever. Unlike some people who only complain about sacrifices, I swallowed hard, my fists clenching. Daniel's presence beside me kept me standing upright. He shifted the folder in his hands and slowly opened it. The sound of the clasp clicking made Ryan's smirk falter just slightly. Resourceful? Daniel repeated, his voice laced with ice. Interesting choice of words. Because according to these papers, Lily's car wasn't transferred legally. In fact, the sale was done under her name without her signature. Forged. Ryan's face paled. That's ridiculous. He forced a laugh, but it cracked. Daniel stepped closer, pulling out the first sheet. Here's the bill of sale. Notice the signature? Lily's name scrawled across it. Only problem, she was with me that afternoon, 2 counties away, working a double shift. We even have her time-stamped pay stub. So unless Lily figured out how to clone herself, someone forged this. Gasps rippled from the neighbors gathered nearby. Margaret's smile faded. Ryan's bravado wavered, though he tried to mask it with a shrug. Maybe the dealer made a mistake. Daniel's eyes darkened. Really? Because the dealer signed a sworn statement saying Ryan Parker himself handled the transaction. Not a mistake, fraud. The silence was deafening. I felt my chest tighten, a rush of vindication pulsing through me. For once, the weight wasn't on my shoulders. It was on his. Margaret's voice trembled. Ryan. Tell me that's not true. Ryan's jaw worked, grinding his teeth. It's not, Mom, he's twisting it. You know Daniel's always been against me. He's just jealous. Daniel held up another paper, his tone sharp as a blade. Jealous? Of what? Your maxed out credit cards? Your unpaid loans? This car isn't even fully yours. It's leased under Lily's credit, tied to her record. If the payments aren't made, guess whose name is destroyed? I froze, my breath catching. What? My voice cracked. Daniel's hand tightened on mine, grounding me. He used your social security number, Lily, without your consent. The crowd stirred, whispers spreading like wildfire. A neighbor muttered, That's identity theft. Margaret staggered back, her eyes wide. Ryan, did you… Ryan snapped, his voice raising, desperate. So what if I did? She wasn't using it. She's always had everything easy. I needed a break. I deserved this car more than she ever deserved that junker. His words cut deep, sharper than any blade. My throat burned, tears stinging. But this time, I didn't shrink back. I stood taller, my voice trembling but strong. You didn't just take my car, Ryan. You stole my name, my credit, my future. And Mom, you let him. You pushed me to hand everything over like I was nothing. And for what? So he could play king with stolen glory? Margaret's lips quivered. Her eyes darted between us, torn, but not once did she defend me. She stayed silent, clutching her son's arm, her loyalty written clear. Daniel's voice thundered now, final and merciless. We've already spoken to an attorney. These papers are filed. Ryan, you'll be facing charges unless you come clean and make this right. Today. The smirk was gone. Ryan's face twisted in rage and fear, his knuckles white around the keys he clutched. You wouldn't dare. Daniel's gaze didn't waver. Try me. I stared at Ryan, my brother, my mother's golden child, and for the first time, I didn't see someone untouchable. I saw a coward, stripped bare in front of the world. My hands no longer shook. My voice didn't break. You think I'll stay silent like always? I said, my tone firm, steady. Not anymore. You've taken enough from me. This ends now. The weight shifted. For years, I had been their scapegoat, their sacrifice. But standing there, Daniel at my side, papers in his hand, truth on my tongue, I felt something I hadn't in years. Power. And Ryan knew it. The driveway felt like a stage, every neighbor leaning on their fences or peeking from porches. Ryan's flashy sports car gleamed in the afternoon sun, but his smug expression had cracked. His lips pressed thin, jaw twitching. The truth had cornered him, and everyone knew it. You're overreacting, Ryan spat, his voice rising. This is family business. It doesn't need to be dragged into the street. Daniel's reply was sharp. Funny. You didn't mind making it public when you rolled up flaunting a car you stole under Lily's name? Ryan's nostrils flared. I didn't steal anything. It's mine. She gave me the car. Mom was there. Don't act like this is some crime. My chest tightened as he threw the spotlight back on me. For years, that tactic had worked. paint me as the weak one, the complainer, the selfish sibling. But now, the words that once silenced me sparked fire instead. "You know what's selfish, Ryan?" I said, my voice carrying across the yard. "Using me like a piggy bank. Draining me dry. Mom might excuse it, but the law doesn't. You didn't just take my car, you forged my name. You tied debt to my credit. You risked my future because you wanted to look important." Gasps rippled through the onlookers again. A man from across the street muttered, "She's right, that's fraud." Margaret's face tightened, but instead of shame, she clutched Ryan's arm. "Enough, Lily, stop embarrassing us. He's your brother. Family makes sacrifices." Her words stung like knives. My nails dug into my palms as I fought the urge to break. Daniel's grip on my shoulder steadied me. "Sacrifice?" I snapped, my voice shaking with fury. "When have you ever asked Ryan to sacrifice? When has he given up anything? I've been the one working 2 jobs, paying bills, scraping by. He burns through money like it's paper, and you call it ambition. You tell me to sell what little I have left, and you call it family. But the moment I need something, I'm told I don't deserve it." Margaret's face flushed red. "Watch your tone." "No," I cut her off, years of swallowed words breaking free. My voice rose firm and relentless. "I'm done watching my tone. I'm done being the convenient daughter you can guilt into silence. Ryan forged my name. He put me at risk, and you stood by him. Don't call it sacrifice, it's abuse." The crowd shifted, whispers buzzing louder. Ryan's smirk had vanished completely now, replaced by a stormy glare. "You think you're some hero because your husband dug up papers?" he snarled. "You think anyone's gonna side with you? Mom always said you twist everything into drama." "You've always been jealous," I laughed bitterly. The sound surprised even me. "Jealous of you? Of living off handouts and lies? Of being so desperate for approval you'd risk jail just to impress people with a car you can't afford?" Daniel stepped forward, his tone cutting through Ryan's bluster. "The attorney already filed a complaint, Ryan. This isn't just about Lily. It's a criminal record, fraud charges, and debt collectors. You can try to spin this all you want, but the paper trail doesn't lie." Ryan's face blanched. His swagger cracked, panic bleeding through. He clutched the keys tighter, his voice trembling though he tried to mask it with anger. "You wouldn't dare press charges. You'd ruin your own family name." I looked him dead in the eyes. My voice was calm, steady, final. "You already ruined it, Ryan. All I'm doing is telling the truth," Margaret gasped, turning to me like I had struck her. "You wouldn't... You can't put your brother in jail." "He's blood!" Daniel's voice thundered back. "Blood doesn't excuse betrayal." The words rang in the air like a gavel. Ryan's bravado crumbled. He looked at Margaret, desperate. "Mom, say something. Fix this. She won't go through with it. You know she won't." But I didn't look at her. For the first time, I wasn't begging for her approval. I wasn't waiting for her to take my side. I was done. "I've been quiet my whole life," I said, my eyes locked on Ryan. "And all it's gotten me is humiliation. Not anymore. If you don't sign over the car today, if you don't undo every part of this mess, I'll make sure you answer to more than just me. You'll answer to the law." The silence that followed was suffocating. Neighbors held their breath. Margaret's mouth opened and closed. No defense left. Ryan's chest heaved, his face pale as the weight of reality sank in. Daniel slid another page from the folder, his voice cold. "This is a formal demand. Sign it and the car's title goes back. Refuse and we take this to court." "Your choice." Ryan's hand shook as his bravado finally cracked. His voice was barely a whisper. "You'd destroy me." "No," I said, my voice steady, final. "You did that yourself." For once, Ryan had nothing left to say. Ryan's hand hovered over the papers Daniel held out, his knuckles white, his breath shallow. The sports car sat behind him like a gleaming trophy, but it suddenly looked less like victory and more like evidence. His swagger was gone, replaced by raw fear. Margaret stepped between us, her voice sharp, trembling. "Lily, think about what you're doing. He's your brother, your own flesh and blood. Families don't drag each other through the mud like this. You'll regret it if you don't let this go." I stared at her. The woman who raised me, who always measured love by Ryan's worth and sacrifice by mine. My chest ached, but I didn't flinch. I've been regretting it for years, Mom. Every time I gave up something for him. Every time you asked me to stay quiet. You told me family means sacrifice, but you never meant his. Only mine. Her lips parted, stung. That's not fair. No. I cut her off, my voice louder, fueled by years of silence breaking open. What's not fair is watching my life get stripped piece by piece so Ryan can shine. What's not fair is selling my car so he could show off in a car worth 10 times more. What's not fair is being told I don't matter while you stand there and cheer for him. The neighbors murmured, their whispers sharp as knives. Margaret's face tightened, but she couldn't look me in the eye. Daniel extended the pen toward Ryan, his tone calm, unyielding. Sign it. End this now. Or we'll let a judge decide. Ryan's jaw worked furiously, his eyes darting between me, the crowd, and the car. This is insane. You'd let me rot over a stupid car? I stepped forward, my voice cutting through the tension. It's not about the car. It's about respect. About truth. You took my name, my credit, my future, like they were disposable. You made me the fool. You don't get to laugh at me anymore. Ryan's face twisted. For a moment, I thought he'd storm off, refuse, gamble that I'd back down like always. But Daniel didn't blink and the crowd's silence pressed in. The weight of exposure broke him. His shoulders slumped, his hand trembling as he snatched the pen and scrawled his name. The moment the ink touched paper, it was like chains snapping. My breath came fast but lighter. For once, Ryan was the one cornered, not me. Daniel slid the papers back into the folder, his tone final. The car's title is reversed. The dealership will repossess it by morning. And Ryan, any move you make against Lily from here, it'll be met with more than just words. Ryan threw the pen down, his face red, his voice cracking. You've ruined me. You'll never be welcome in this family again. I met his glare, steady. Then maybe for once I'll finally be free. Margaret's gasp echoed across the driveway. Her eyes filled with shock, then desperation. Lily, don't say that. You can't just walk away from family. I turned to her, my throat tight, but my voice strong. Family doesn't ask one child to bleed so the other can shine. Family doesn't cover up fraud and call it sacrifice. If that's what family is here, I don't need it. Her mouth opened, but no words came. For once, she had no defense. No command. Only silence. I stepped off the driveway, Daniel beside me, the folder in his hands. The neighbors parted, their eyes wide, whispers chasing after us. I felt every step like a release, every breath like air after years of suffocation. Behind me, Ryan shouted, his voice cracking with rage. You think this makes you strong? You're nothing without us. Nothing! I stopped, turning just enough for my words to cut through the air. I was nothing because I let you make me believe it. But today, I chose myself. And with that, I walked away. Daniel's hand slid into mine, steady, grounding. You did it, he whispered. Tears blurred my vision, but for the first time, they weren't from shame or defeat. They were from release, from finally standing up, not shrinking back. As the sun dipped low, the roar of Ryan's car no longer seemed like triumph. It was just noise, empty and fading. My sacrifice was over. My silence was done. And the life ahead of me, for the first time, was mine.